Hi, my name is Ryan Bain from Webtechglobal and I am the developer of CSV to Post. In this video I'm going to cover the new custom field panel just quite swiftly because I'm going to assume that most people will know what custom fields are and how other plugins and themes make use of custom fields. I am going to go over the values that we will be adding to custom fields and some of the important things to consider when auto-blogging and the wysiwyg editor that you can see at the bottom here. So we'll start from the top though, and it's really simple to start with. We have the name. The name field is the exact same as what you have on the add post screen or edit post screen. You simply type a value in there. It could be machine readable or human readable. My custom field, so we'll type human there. Right, so my custom field. Down here we have updating, and this basically allows us to tell the plugin whether or not we want a custom field value to be updated. Now that doesn't mean that the value in the project database table is updated or not. So basically if your data changes in the CSV file, the raw original value for a custom field changes in that CSV file, that will be imported and updated within the project table, but it doesn't mean it will be applied to the custom field if we select disabled for that custom field. And this is an option per custom field, so we can have some custom fields update and some not. And always remember that you have that raw data in there as well. So even though you're not using the new values and you're not reflecting the new values within your site and the content isn't changing, you still have those updated values. And there's things that we can do with them. You can compare the original value to the new one that exists and has recently been imported, and you can even build a history of values if you need to. There's functionality in CSV to Post that's hidden and not really clear on the interface. It's just a case of letting me know, and I can create a custom interface for you or a custom tool and so on. Now I think that's that for the updating part. Oh, one more thing actually. This is only available in the premium edition. So update in general and automation is generally a premium thing, and it's a part of the plugin that grows and gets more advanced as the years go on. The updating procedure involves and requires you to activate the schedule, have that running, and I think the global update switch in general has to be activated. So because generally right now the custom fields are updated as part of the entire post-update procedure. It's all done at once. However, I am considering, I have been looking at how we would have separate procedures to update custom fields on their own, or other parts and elements of WordPress posts, update them on their own as separate procedures, so that we can improve efficiency and automation. If that's something that you're interested in, then please give me some feedback, because some of these things don't happen unless I know people really want them. Now, here we have the unique option. Now, this is basically to keep us right when we are using this form. If we want a custom field to be unique, select yes, and all that does is compares the name to the name of the existing custom field sort of templates. These are like templates we're creating, and it will compare that name and warn us if we have already used the name or not. So that's all it does. If you're quite confident that you've entered a unique name, then you don't have to select that, and all these little things can obviously speed you up. I'll just scroll down and show you the table so you know what I'm on about. There's a list of custom fields down here, and those will be compared to any custom fields you enter. You are allowed unique custom fields. Well, I shouldn't really go into that because, as I said, you should know what custom fields are. But you are allowed unique custom fields, which is why the option is there to allow them. And that doesn't have any implications in CSV to Post. The results within your post are pretty much the same as if you had them manually. You'll have multiple custom fields with the same name. The only difference is you'll need to populate the values using separate columns, and there is the option of having a column that if you have a column that has multiple values that are separated maybe by a slash, then what we could do is separate each of those values using the slash. The slash is used to split the string of values into separate columns. So if you have 3 values and they're separated by 2 slashes, but they're actually, obviously it's 3 separate values, then we can actually end up with 3 separate columns, and then we would use those 3 separate columns to create 3 separate custom fields, each sharing the same name or different names and so on. So there's a lot we can do. I know that might be a lot to take in, but all I'm saying is whatever situation you're in, if there's something you're not quite happy with within your data and you're trying to achieve something, then express it. Get on the forum and talk about it, because chances are I can help. Now, down here we have the editor. You might be thinking, well, why a whole wysiwyg editor? The editor is there for those of you who are keen on adding embed script from, say, YouTube and Google AdSense. You could even type in some HTML. So you could do this, and you would put a column replacement token in. So my links, for example, my links being just an example. You could have a column of links of URL that has a totally different name, but you could use it in the same way. So you could type something like that in, and the custom field value is essentially a link. You could even add a style to that, so that on your theme it's styled as a button and so on. That's absolutely fine in some cases. It really depends on what you're doing with your project. If your site's going to be relatively small and you're not going to be doing a lot of changes and you're very sure about how you want your site to be, then there's not a lot of problem, not a lot of negative issues in adding HTML or script to this wysiwyg editor right here. Keep in mind that when the auto-upload procedure happens, this acts as a template, and there will be a custom field created for every post using this template, and therefore you're inserting the same code again and again and again. If you're auto-blogging hundreds of thousands of posts, that's generally not a good idea, simply because of 2 reasons. One, you are inserting the same thing again and again and again into your database, and that repeated code is really like, sorry, well, it is code, but it's technically, once it's in a database, it's data, and it's really redundant. It doesn't really have to be there. It's taking up space. The other thing is, if you ever want to come along and make changes, you won't be able to do it without doing a database query, which will probably be more complex for the average person to do. You may find yourself stuck. You're not going to go ahead and make the changes, obviously one value or one field at a time in the database, because it would take too long. Even with a couple of hundred, that would be tedious work. And you would be stuck with the option of hiring a developer who will charge you quite a bit more to run a query in your database than they would if you initially add the HTML or script, like the embed code for YouTube videos, add that to your theme, and that makes life a lot easier, because you could actually yourself, once you know what you're doing, copy the embed code or the HTML, even PHP, copy the code in question, and you could paste that online, and someone might even edit it for free for you. So that's the option that you open yourself up to. Then you would obviously paste that changed and edited code back into your theme, and the change would reflect on all of your posts. That could be a far cheaper option than inserting a lot of code into your database and needing someone, a professional, to come along and make changes to it in the future. But as I said, if you're quite sure that's not going to be your situation, I know a lot of you are importing affiliate data and you're creating blogs really quickly. You know exactly how you want them to be, and they stay that way for a long time. Then you'll get away with adding some HTML and things like that in this editor, and that's exactly why I added it. And I think that's everything.